everybody. Welcome to the Red Web. It's Brad West, and today my co-hosts Greg and Anna are going to be talking with me about contagions. We figured, why not get into some topical, real-world, current events information. We did last week. We did the real-world topical events with the distribution wars, and so we thought, let's keep that going for a little bit. Today we're going to talk about our favorite pandemic or epidemic or crossover storylines in comic books. And we're going to talk about what happened. Maybe it's a fun read. Maybe it's something you can pick up and look up at one of your local comic book shop. You can check out Dragon's Lair Comic Book Fantasy on Anderson. And then, or did I?
What?
Did I get it right?
Anderson one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one of our other supporters, Tried Comics and Games on Safamar, and even Hobson Heroes Comics. Give those guys a shout out. They're great too. We have a lot of community in Austin with great stuff, so you can pick up some back issues and some stories and read these guys. And so, we're going to talk about pandemics and maybe even see how what we do here on Red Web, but we can see how art imitates life and vice versa. Maybe we can get some pointers from the superheroes. We actually each are going to talk a little bit. I think Greg is going to help fill in some gaps. Anastasia and I. Now, I'm going to start off with Spider Island, so it's all Spider-Man. And I want to talk about Spider Island. He's going to help with some of that. And then also, as our Batman guy and our main comic book aficionado, he's going to help out with some Anastasia. She caught up a little bit of the fun that is the Batman Pandemic series. It was a 4-part, I won't say apocalypse, but definitely societal breakdown. Which has
kind of also been slightly recapped a little bit in the new Harlequin animated series.
Yes, they actually did kind of big.
And they sort of talk about it in the Batman movies too, or in the Nolan series.
In the Nolan series, they did take a definite cue from that. And then we'll follow up with X-Men Legacy Virus, which is not specifically a storyline per se, but a set of storylines, a plot line that was put through a bunch of the comic books. And as well as some other fun X-Men trope things that we're going to talk into. So, Spider Island. Spider Island is 15 years old now.
Is it really 15 years old?
It's been a while. It was like 2000s. It was definitely not in the 2010s. By the time we get to 2010s, we're starting to get into
wow.
Yeah, we get to 2010s. We get War Day and all that stuff. So Spider Island was one of Dan Slott's most epic plot line crossovers. It predates Spider-Verse and Spider-Geddon. And it predates Secret Wars. So the very latest, it was like 2010 actual. Spider Island is one of my favorite stories. Now here's some of the things I liked about Dan Slott, and you'll hear a lot of, I will defend him all the way. A lot of people didn't care for him just because nobody had the run of Spider-Man comics for as long as he did. He had proper control of the main Spider-Man core books and storylines for many, many years, like 3 times longer than any of the classic writers have ever had. And I like that because it gave a new angle to comic books. He was able to do kind of like what I call Doctor Who, where he peppered ideas and seeds and left things in there to either come back to or not, or leave for other writers to play off of. And then he went back and he studied his history, he studied the lore, and he brought a lot of fun things back from the past. And the first really good example of this is Spider Island, which was a major crossover to all the Spider-Man books. In fact, it crossed over into a few other of my favorite books as well, some really fun stories that came out of it. And the basic gist of it is this. For any of you that are familiar with the infamous Clone Saga of the 90s, Ben Reilly and the Jackal, who created the
Nothing's casting on
Are we on
either
now?
Facebook or YouTube.
Oh, so we're not casting at all on.
Mhm.
Wow. Sorry.
Uh-oh.
Are we on? We're on cable access though, right?
Oh, no.
You're on now.
We're on now.
All right.
Hello.
Did you want to keep going or?
You know what? No, we can redo this. This was a good run through. I think everybody. So everybody, we're going to just we're going to sit and talk about things and watch. We're not going to be structured today because we lost our feed. We tried some new stuff. We made an adventurous attempt at it.
Yeah, we tried a new online software system.
Yep, we
And
appreciate
obviously-
you bearing with us.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Obviously, it didn't work out, so we'll go back to the one that worked with us last week.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think next week, let's try. It's a suggestion. If y'all like this, guys, back on like this. We're going to do the superhero pandemics next week because
Yeah.
there's a lot of fun and juicy stuff to do that, and we got it really laid out for you with some good fun stuff.
Right? It looks great. Looks like we made a board and everything, guys.
Yes. But since we're on already, what we normally do here at Red
How much
Web,
time do we get left?
about 30 minutes.
30
Yeah.
minutes, so we can talk about some really fun stuff.
40,
Yes.
like 43-ish, actually.
So,
We're still pretty good.
What I'm going to do is this. Here at Red Web, what we do is the three of us brainstorm before and after, and then sometimes whatever. We've got our notes and things. In fact, I'm going to probably grab a notebook. And we think of ideas of things that we want to talk about, and we do our current affairs stuff. Now, since we're not on the awesome public access right now, it might not be as detrimental if we curse, so just be forewarned. Some of our brainstorming gets like really heated, especially for me because I'm very animated. I'm not going
You
to.
are on TV.
We are on TV.
You're
Okay.
on TV.
All right,
Sorry,
okay.
guys.
Fix that.
So we're gonna watch the language. We're gonna watch the
Fun,
language.
juicy details.
If I want to cuss, I'll eat an M&M. Okay.
Oh my.
But I think what we're going to do is this. If you guys bear with us, if you want to get an idea behind the scenes here at the Red Web and see how we develop our ideas and what we bring to you information-wise, we go over current events in storylines and comics and real-world events and stuff, and we try to figure out how those match up. And we want to bring you more than just telling you about these stories. We're going to tell you the fun background stuff, and we want to make it interesting and the things that you don't just get from reading Wikipedia. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a notebook, and we're going to brainstorm some ideas. What I would like you guys at home to do, listen in. If we touch on something that we go, nah, that's not a good idea, and you go, no, that'd be a great idea, tell us.
Right? Let us know.
Answer us. Respond. And if we touch on something that we think is a good idea, and you go, well, wait. maybe
Well,
we don't
first
wanna
off,
do that.
Brad, how can they get in touch with you?
So you can message me directly on Brad's Red Web, so it's facebook.com/Brad's Red Web. You can also always contact us on YouTube with any of the Kaiju Labs media links. And honestly, I don't know right now, so I'm hoping that maybe Gavin, if you're listening, message me what to tell them to send to, and I will put that out there too.
Right, help.
Yes, I'll put that out there to you. So instead of our normal structured topic day to day, you're going to get to have the fun of being part of the Red Web brainstorm session. And we say this all the time, actually, which is really kind of ironic that we're getting the chance to do this for you guys. We frequently will get really, really good ideas and good thoughts and good conversations going between us. And like half an hour in, I'm like, man, I wish this was like recorded so that everybody can see these ideas and how they come out. So we're gonna make some lemonade out of this today, and we're gonna come up with some ideas. We'll go grab my notepad and we'll go over some of the ideas we have.
Right? I will
Cool.
grab my iPad.
And if you guys have any ideas that you want to hear us talk about, do get in touch with Brad on Brad's Red Web on Facebook or Kaiju Media, and let us know. Because, and if you want to be a guest on Red Web,
If you have something to say, we want to hear from you. That's our thing.
definitely. We love having guests in. We love having guests in.
Yes. Oh, God. It's the joy of my day.
I mean, Angie really knocked it out of the park last week. She was
She was so
Yeah.
nervous, but she did so good.
amazing. Yeah.
And if you saw the Kaiju Media Labs Media Presents on Sunday, where we did the Pride episode, we're going to be doing the second part this Sunday. I think at 1 instead of 2. We'll make sure to put those links up on the page for you after this. Tune in for that. We had a guest speaker, Tavis, from a university in England. He's a GLBTQ cultural studies expert, and he was actually quite amazing and quite fun to talk to. I would love everybody to see that first episode and then watch the next part with us because there was way too much to cover in one part.
Right.
And
Was that the very well dressed dude?
yes, with the great bow
Very
tie.
well-dressed.
You were very well
Yes.
dressed.
As well as we did another one. Anastasia did one on last Thursday. Where do we go from here? Talking about representation. And I know that one of my sister shows, I don't know what Courtney's going to be calling it yet, but it will be also about representation. And we would like to brainstorm some ideas for that. Speaking of representation, the in the news right now is Anthony Mackie. We were talking about Anthony Mackie a minute ago.
Yeah.
Beautiful human being on so many levels.
I got to meet him. He is really wonderful. He at Comic Palooza in Houston, he was doing these math tricks and stuff like that, and getting kids interested in math. And he was telling all the kids that they need to really pay attention to school. And
Dang it, that's so wholesome.
yeah, he's amazing.
Oh, my heart.
Really, just I cannot say enough good things about Anthony Mackie. Just really a wonderful person.
He is very cool, dude.
Yes, and the of course internet culture is making out to be a little bit more. I don't want to I'm just hearing about M&Ms.
I want more M&Ms.
That's some more M&Ms.
Even though I'm still confused because I'm like, it just tastes like slightly chocolatier M&Ms.
Yes, there's nothing brownie about them.
And
Tell him we keep on getting pop-up that says, "How was your experience?"
it's like, and I'm so
Logs us out when
disappointed.
it does
And
that.
there's no button that says it kind of sucks right now.
It's kind of like the Nutella ones. Like, I tried the Nutella ones and I geared myself up for them.
Right.
And suddenly it was like, yeah, these taste like slightly chocolatey M&Ms.
Okay.
And
The
just
cookies
keep
and
doing
cream
your
ones.
thing.
Are we on?
Are we on?
Currently, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
People watching.
Hooray.
Sorry about this, guys. Yeah, it doesn't have the live marker on there telling us that we're live right now.
We love you. We
So.
love our fans. I love the way my living room looks in this.
By the way, this is Bo.
I didn't mean to get into the
See up
frame.
there at the top where it says leave?
Yeah,
That usually says live to let us know we're live.
yeah. And so here it says
I'm doing a
preview.
good job of decorating the living room because it looks like a set in there. It's like a set
Yeah, it
design.
looks like a real set. The
So,
only thing I could think
That's why
we
we're
could do
confused.
differently,
Maybe come
It's
from
all
that
good.
angle.
yeah, either we shift it over,
No, that way. Come from that way.
see, what do you want me
shift
to
it
do?
over much more
No,
centered.
not right now. Not right now.
Oh, no,
Next
you're
time.
good.
Next time, we'll knock everything over. Next time, we'll
It's
come from over there and see if it gets all.
It's like, it's a weird symmetry thing.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's
it's
weird.
like, because we're all off kiltered this way.
Oh, no,
Over
look,
here.
look, we're good.
Yeah, we're in.
Look at it. We're all 3-pointed.
Yeah, there we go. Much more balanced.
Yeah, except for it looks like y'all are frozen.
Are we
No.
frozen?
Can you
Oh.
hit join?
It just popped back up.
Yay! Thank you for bearing with us
I am
again.
so sorry.
The
Yeah.
night we ate M&Ms.
Yeah, these are it's like these are very good M&Ms.
So, we're good now?
Give me a second. No, there's some. Hey.
Hey, no,
And
Hey,
that's,
no.
that's my little killer fluffball.
I know.
You hush.
We just need to look good. We on?
So, I guess we should just talk here.
We'll
And,
just talk. And
We'll-
hopefully
we'll
up in here.
yeah. So,
Okay.
All right, and we're about to have some continuity because we're going to make this Chia Pet grow.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So, for those of you who didn't see my unboxing of the Chia Pet, Chia
Chia.
Deadpool is here.
Woo!
and we just put the first seeds on them. It takes a couple days before we have to water them and it'll start sprouting. So this is the first day of Chia Deadpool. So
Yeah.
hopefully,
Deadpool.
He's just lightly crusted right now. Give him a couple days, it'll just start.
yes. So we're gonna see where that goes. For those of you who are watching, we have Chia Deadpool.
Right? We'll tell you how Chia Deadpool's doing.
We're bringing you new things here. We're bringing you the magic mystery box. So this book will have comics and ideas and stuff we'll talk about. And hopefully,
Right.
once we get more traffic, if I can help us get traffic, we're going to do giveaways, comics, books. I've got some T-shirts and some fun tchotchkes that I want to start giving away, but we need more traffic before that'll actually be reviewable. But so
Right? And if you want to give them homework for next week, if we're going to do this one next go round, what comics do we want them to read? It's because I know Spider Island's a big thing, but is it divvied up into?
Spider Island is very much like you were talking about with
I have
No
the
Man's
full
Land.
trade.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
There's a couple of different versions of the trade. There's the one that's got all of the essential story parts, and then they have the Master Edition, whatever Marvel calls their Master Edition, where
Which
it
has
all
like
of
every single.
has all the spin-offs. Because like there's one Spider Island spin-off, and it's just like an anthology with just like random people.
Okay.
The only reason worth reading that one is because of Spider Cat.
Mm-hmm.
There's a cat that gets the spider powers.
It's like, so yeah, you guys read
It's
Spider
not-
Island by next week. And then for Batman, it's like the 4 stories are called Contagion, Legacy, Cataclysm, and No Man's Land, which is 2 books. So yeah.
That's a month of reading.
yeah, it'll take you a minute.
It took like one of the arcs. I can't remember if it's Contagion or No Man's Land took like an entire year. I think it was No Man's Land took an entire year.
Oh yeah,
All the Batman books, not just one book. It was all the books. It was all about
yeah, like I said, when I went through it, it's like it's like Contagion and Legacy were easy. Cataclysm was all right, and then No Man's Land was like, oh, here's the compressed version is 40 issues, and I was like, I can't do all of this at once. So it's on my list, but it's going to take a minute. So if we tell you guys right now, you'll be ready by next week.
Also, just so you know, a lot of people, when they're talking about comic book storylines and they want to talk about post-apocalyptic stuff, we had actually discussed whether or not to do zombies. We kind of came to the conclusion, 2 things. One, zombies is low-hanging fruit. There are so many post-apocalyptic Contagion storylines out there. It's been done, and it's just very few that are even worth. Like, at most, I would mention Marvel Zombies simply because it crosses over directly with the Evil Dead series. I find it amusing that it's actually Ash's fault. In continuity, it's Ash's fault that Spider-Man got bit. So, that's fun. Outside of that, again, zombies.
Well, in most of the story, it's like reading most of the synopsises of these things.
Synopses.
Whatever.
Synopsi.
I think it's synopses. It's like, but going through all of those stories, it's like it's a different type of story. All the zombie stories kind of feel like the same to me.
Yeah.
It's like, or well, you have your subset of zombie stories. You either have trapped in the situation as we're going zombie stories, you have the trip across the world zombie stories, or you have the rebuilding society zombie stories, which is more Walking Dead. It's like, prove me wrong. I've never actually seen the Walking Dead series, so
Ditto.
because I'm not a zombie fan.
Yeah,
I'm not either. But first season was interesting.
Was it?
Yeah. I will say that there are elements that happen that made me not like it
Mm-hmm.
because I like happy stuff.
Yeah, it gets depressing after a while.
I'm all about my media. I like to be moral and upright and good, like, you know, the ideal of Captain America or Spider-Man, where, you know, they're there to do good and they do the right thing, no matter how bad it is for them to do the bad thing. They still do the good thing because that's, you know, who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I love. I love at the end of a book being really happy and, you know,
Right.
yeah, that was awesome. You know, I don't like the ooh, he got with her, and
Yeah.
Right, all
she
the kind
cheated
of
on him, and
the minutia of it.
Yeah.
Just it's
Yeah.
like and what we figured. For,
Now, don't get me wrong. I like romance in comics and in media as well. I mean, I love I think that one of the best movies they could ever do would probably be, for Spider-Man anyways, is the Mary Jane Black Cat triangle. Where
okay.
Mary Jane, of course, loves him for Peter. Black Cat only loves him for Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Mary Jane can't stand Spider-Man, and Black Cat really can't stand Peter Parker. And so
Right.
it's this really interesting dynamic.
And he's such a fun character that it's like it's not like zombie dramas where it's just like really sad and tragic and
When
stuff.
he ate Aunt May.
Right, it's cute. It's like, and we figured the other direction we kind of wanted to go with this show is instead of it being just like a magical Deus Ex Machina, like the reason I like the Batman one is because they have to rebuild themselves, and it's a very grounded and practical way to rebuild. And it's like, especially considering what's going on right now, that's what we need.
That's why the only post-apocalyptic one that we're going to do, if you want to read ahead of time and be up to date with this, or if you want to hear our opinions on it, is we are going to give honorable mention to Why the Last Man. Why the Last Man is unique in that it's not a zombie story, but rather it's a contagion that affects on the genetic level anybody with the Y chromosome. So it basically wipes out all male mammals, lizards, fish, everything else continue, but mammals. So every mammal from bears to humans wipes out all the men. All the men on the planet die. All the males on the planet die, except for this one dude and his pet monkey Ampersand. And I have not read it. I've heard of it, and I've had a passing interest in it, but it looks like they're trying to develop it for stars. And I think it might be worth watching. There's some good talent behind creating it. If you've seen Marvel's Runaways, the Brian K. Vaughan, who created Runaways, is the one who created Why the Last Man. And so I enjoyed the Runaways TV show, so I'm thinking I would probably enjoy the Why the Last Man TV show. But the cool thing that caught my interest this time around reviewing it and digging a little bit deeper is that it's actually a female-led story. It's got this dude on all the covers, and it makes it look like he's the lead of the story. But he's actually only one of a cast, and by default, that means all the rest of his cast members are like badass chicks. And so I love me a good team of badass chicks doing badass things in a post-apocalyptic war story. So I'm actually more interested in than was it before. So I'm going to review that one a little bit too, just because that's got a uniquely different contagion. Plus, it also has really good real-world rebuilding society kind of thing. But it's not a
I want to throw
constant threat
something
of
out there
zombies.
really quick because it's coming up really soon. The Old Guard, written by Greg Rucka, have been made into a television series that's going to be on Netflix coming up, I want to say, mid-July. Or it's the early July. But anyways, anything by Greg Rucka is absolutely amazing and wonderful.
He does some of our favorite Wonder Woman stories. He helped us develop
Batwoman
Batwoman.
Elegy. Batwoman Elegy. So many wonderful things. So, and I hear that he's actually going to be part of the writing staff, from what I understand, on the Old Guard TV series. So that I'm definitely in. I want to see more, and I've heard that. I think Charlize Theron is going to be one of the leads.
Yes.
Oh, God bless her.
But she does not. Apparently, so is, for who knows why, Steven Seagal.
Really?
What? He's
Yes.
still doing stuff?
Yeah, and there's some drama out there right now that Steven Seagal, that she does not care for Steven Seagal.
I mean, he's kind
He
of
came out on the patio.
He's very Oh,
Puppies are
sorry,
having
losing him.
fun.
Dog drama. We let them back in, but next time they will not be in here at all for the show.
He's having a moment
Yes.
in a second.
I have an old pug.
It's all good.
Over. Push him over. That's fine. I'm putting it down. We're doing it.
Come on.
Okay, so Anthony Mackie was recently talking about Marvel as their
on,
lack
Mackie.
of. Go.
Was that already on the air, or did we not get that on the air?
No, we didn't. I just started mentioning.
He's amazing. I will mention Anthony.
We talked about how
Mackie.
cool he was, but we haven't talked about what he was talking about with Marvel. So he actually has come out saying that he is a little bit disappointed in Marvel for the current run on the new Falcon and Winter Soldier, who's we're like obviously super excited about.
Yeah.
So
I'm ready.
We are going to talk about both Anthony Mackie and his views on inclusion with not just actors and directors, but other creators. It takes hundreds of people to make a movie, and Marvel made a big deal about having this whole
Black
huge
Panther.
Black
creators.
cast, all black. It's like all black cast, all black directors.
But then when you go and you look at the other projects, it's like there's like maybe a few black people, And Anthony Mackie's actually he's not slamming Marvel because that's just not his style. But he is concerned, and it's a valid concern. He would rather have white people working on the Black Panther movie and have black people working on all the other stuff. Amen.
Swear M&Ms.
Swear M&Ms.
Yeah.
And I completely agree. You got to keep that going, and that's one of the things me and one of my other friends were talking about. Yeah, this stuff is great that we've got going on with the reform and people wanting to change stuff, but is that just right now while there's all of the political hype?
Well, and even worse, while it's trendy to be.
Oh, it's trendy. Yeah,
it's like because that's kind of been the big change between when all of the protesting and stuff started versus now. Is back then, if you decided you were part of Black Lives Matter or you even supported anything like that, you were considered it's like it used to be that everyone was a pariah, and now suddenly everybody's coming out and doing some sort of Black Lives Matter thing or some sort of thing where they're trying to show how like progressive and woke they are.
Mm-hmm.
And some people
I will never stop laughing at that word.
It's like
it's such a millennial word.
I mean, I say it in such a like whatever way, but it's like it's trendy now for stuff like that to happen. I mean, we went from nobody wanting to mention it being a non-issue to every business is suddenly doing it. It's kind of like the Pride stuff. It's like it was kind of a non-issue thing, and then suddenly everybody wanted their hand in the pot. I guess now because they realize, especially with things like Black Panther, that if they try to center it, sometimes we'll listen or we'll give it a chance.
It's like we were talking Sunday on the Pride episode. Even now, we've had such a long history with gays in the media that we will find things and latch onto them because we're so hungry for that representation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a fine line between pandering and marketing and putting it in there just to what we call queer baiting or actual genuine representation in.
Right. And it's like once the curtain falls and Pride's over and these protests lose their steam again, it's like, are these people still going to be here?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really hard thing with that because
Are we live?
it still says join. Or does it say leave?
It says leave. So we're
All right,
live.
cool.
Okay. But yeah, it's such a weird, fearful thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, everyone wants to
And
wants
Gavin,
to
just
get
so
on
you
the,
know, we're hardwired in. It's not Wi-Fi. It's hardwired in.
It's like it makes them money now, and it gives them clout to be like, yes, we are so progressive now, but I don't know what it's going to be like 2, 3, 4 months from now.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, and so you don't take it personally. My husband and I, it's that at the time I was telling you earlier, a few years back when the gay marriage thing was going, it's like I had something from somebody, like close friends, but then friends like I'm like, okay, do I really even? How do I know you? Kind of thing. But there was constantly people like sending us me and both stuff about the gay marriage and the updates and the support and how they wanted to be there for us, and and then it was like that, and then afterwards when we got legally married, only our really close friends were really actually, in on that. And everybody else is like, okay, where was all of this hype nowadays?
Right.
So it's like, who are you again? So,
It feeds into that trust issue thing.
yeah. Like, I saw that firsthand with the gay marriage. I saw that firsthand.
Right? It's like we're, especially all the stuff that has been brought to light with the Black Lives Matter stuff. It's like we're so conditioned to basically be disappointed in whoever's involved with it. Like, oh, this person supports Black Lives Matter. We find out 2 weeks later that they're racist or something.
Yeah.
And after a back and forth of this it's been about a decade since Trayvon Martin died. And it's like to have that happen over and over again, especially in my formative years. I think I was like 17. No, I was 16 when that first happened. And it's like we don't know what to do anymore. Our first instinct is to be like, well, you're just doing this as a shill or something. It's
so if we're going to be doing we're going to be doing the censorship series. I want to do the censorship series. I'm going to do a censorship series, and we're going to start light. And
it's going to be a fun, intense one.
Yeah, we're going to start light and work our way up. So we're going to do a 3-part. We're going to start with McCarthyism and seduction of the innocent and the Comic Code Authority.
Comic Code Authority.
It's always an important thing to go over, and it has such deep roots and long-reaching effects on comic books and superheroes and genres, etc.
I mean, do we want to talk about the Hollywood blacklist?
Yeah, it's like McCarthyism is my jam. I'm
yeah,
ready for that.
So part 1 of censor is McCarthy,
and especially the.
Are we going to talk about the
seduction? Hold on, you said Hollywood blacklist.
Right, especially
something a lot more recent. Are we going to talk about the?
We're going to do 3 parts. So hold on.
The Congress trying to pass censorship legislation on.
Yep, and try and make comic books only.
I'm not talking about just comic books. I'm talking about
everything,
music, and stuff like that. And then Dee Snider from Twisted Sister and
what's he doing these days? What is he doing these days?
A lot, actually. This is like the 3rd time I've heard him speak up in like the past year.
It's like terrible confession time. Before all of this hoopla happened, I was on a Celebrity Apprentice kick, and that was the last time I saw him. And now I'm just like, oh, cool. I remember him. I liked him. So.
Yeah, the Congress transcripts and stuff like that, pretty amazing, especially when they brought John Denver up. Oh my God!
Really?
Because Congress was totally expecting John Denver to be totally on their side, and he
slammed them.
It was like,
yeah,
that has been the funniest thing about some of this stuff, because it's like they think that some people are super in their corner, and then they find out they're not, and they're like, "How could this have happened?"
Yeah.
Like,
but I mean, they were like promising.
And we all know what happens when you assume,
right?
They were promising him a whole bunch of stuff. They were promising him that he would be like able to go on the space shuttle.
Oh, and then he double planned and was like, "Nah."
Well, he didn't double play him. He told him exactly how he felt. He said, "Look, when I wrote my song Rocky Mountain High, everyone thought I was talking about drugs.
I wasn't. He said no.
It was like I was talking about the amazing, overwhelming feeling you feel when you see nature." And the beauty of nature and all that, and there were actually radio stations that banned his music and wouldn't play his music because they thought he was talking about drugs. And so he says that censorship it's all in the eye of the beholder and whoever's listening to music and what they make out of it. So he was against censorship because of that.
Was this after Columbine or later?
I want to say this was before Columbine.
This was before Columbine?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I remember they had like a whole swath of stuff where they were like, "Is music influencing the youth to become murderers?" And it's like,
well, I think it was more video games at that point.
It was. They did half and half, because I remember at some point they mentioned Marilyn Manson. At some point, they were like, they played video games and listened to Marilyn Manson music, so they must. It must have all made them evil.
A lot of the censorship stuff was about rap music mostly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about our censorship series. It's going to be, and if you guys at home want to add in on this and help us develop these ideas, please do. Censorship series, we're going to do 3 parts. The first part, of course, will be McCarthyism, Hollywood blacklist, seduction of the innocent, and
I hope you guys are listening. Do your homework. You've got 2 weeks.
And then
And
also
then-
one of the things that I really loved about it was the Terrigen Mist. The Inhumans Terrigen
Wow, that's
Mist.
for next week. Hold on,
Yeah.
let's not cross streams.
So-
We're going to confuse everybody.
That's part of the whole deal.
Hold on. First, we're going to start off with next week. We're going to be doing the
What was supposed to be happening right now.
You're going to find the contagions next week. Those are going to be fun. I really hope you tune in. Really great storylines, really amazing stuff. If you didn't hear it before, and you'll get to hear it this next time. I
We worked
encourage you.
really hard, guys.
We always work hard for you. We love you. But we're going to do censorship. I want to start with in the 40s and 50s, and McCarthyism, seduction of the innocent. Robin in bed with Batman was not what they wanted to make it look like, that kind of thing. Part 2, we're going to talk marketing towards children,
We
and
want to talk about all the pains that
we're going to do.
Burt Ward had to
Yeah.
go through.
Yeah, that's part of it. That's part of it. But I want to talk about parents groups and other media like television, animation, video games, and stuff like that.
Did we ever figure out what the name of that organization is?
I know that's
Like Million Moms or
You
something.
know,
got,
you know that with
the
Robin,
Nemo March?
for Robin,
Okay.
he was a little bit more well endowed than
Yeah,
they
yeah,
liked, and so they were like,
save it for the
trying
show.
to
Save it for the
freeze
show.
him and stuff to make him stop.
Save it for the show. But yeah, we'll talk about parents
No.
groups.
They were even trying to
then-
get something out of surgery.
Part three, we're gonna do superhero code of ethics and morality clause. Should be we're gonna do the cancel culture. My dog doesn't like that idea. We're gonna talk about cancel culture. We're gonna talk cancel culture and mob rule, basically internet court of public opinion, and our ability to censor as a group. Is it good or bad? Is anonymous group? Should we have things be in the public domain? Should it be handled only by courts? Should there be a mix of the two? So that's going to be the third part, is the really hardcore one. That one's going to be the one that we apologize, it will get heated. And so that's that.
It won't get that heated.
But then also, we're going to do the fascism episode for Wonder Woman 1984, which is it intentionally is set in 1984.
Coming out in October?
Yes,
Let's
October
go see the
2nd.
movie.
October 2nd.
And then also, I want to say July. Aren't we talking about doing a Scooby-Doo special?
We're going to be doing the Scooby-Doo special at the end of the month.
When? Oh, okay.
Either
Yeah,
the
I was
third or
about to
fourth
say,
week, whenever the game comes out. As soon as the game comes out, let me know, because that's when Gavin will set it up for us.
right?
Oh,
When
nice.
when does the game come out?
Well,
Supposed to
with
be
all board games, you have to give it a little leeway because it was supposed to come out in May. It got bumped to July because of the pandemic. So it's supposed to. I want to say it's supposed to come out mid to late July. So I've been eagerly
What's the
awaiting.
deal today?
the new-
But we're gonna have Scooby-Doo Day for you guys to like, and we're basically coming up with a formula. We're gonna do some like heavy hitting stuff, and then a light-hearted one, and we're gonna go crazy. This is actually just off the rails, something different. So
It's like, and if you guys want us to, we're going to do a review of Scoob at the same time. It'll be
we're gonna
late,
do Scoob, the
but it'll
movie.
be fun.
Yes, and we're gonna review it while we play the new Scooby-Doo board game that's based on the Cthulhu game.
No, it's Betrayal at House on the Hill. They made a Scooby-Doo Betrayal at Mystery Manor.
Isn't that Betrayal House on the Hill like a Cthulhu game?
No,
No, it's just a monster mystery
it's
game.
a haunted house.
Oh, it's just a haunted house. Okay.
It's a haunted house movie little game that has 50 different missions depending on what happens as you go through. And
July 24th.
so
I think we're also going to watch it. There's a couple of other Scooby-Doo things. We're going to do Scooby-Doo all day. We're going to also
I
do...
would love to talk about Mystery Incorporated, the cartoon. Which
Yes.
was
Oh my God.
We're going to talk.
Live.
We're going to talk.
I
We're
love
going to
that
talk
one.
Mystery Incorporated. We're going to talk the new Scooby movie. We're going to talk the...
We have to talk about the very
board game.
first episode.
Yeah.
We're going to... I want
Started
you guys
it
to
all.
watch... We're going to watch Scooby Natural, because Anna hasn't seen Scooby Natural yet.
Yes. I'm
And
sorry.
I also really love my Batman, Brave and the Bold Scooby-Doo team up. So we're going to do
Nice.
that one.
Well,
So-
and if you want to go like good classics, because I have heard very mixed reviews about the Scoob movie, we can watch the good Scooby Doo movies. We can do Zombie Island and Witch's Ghost.
Yes.
Very important
Hex
products
Girls.
of our time.
Hex Girls. I love
Hex
the
Girls.
Hex Girls.
Yes.
Yay!
Now, a lot of people don't remember that one little period of time when they tried to modernize them and they made the Mystery Machine into a minivan instead of a VW. And
Did they?
yeah, when they first started the new ones, when Warner Brothers got the right, we'll review this. But when Warner Brothers had purchased Hanna-Barbera outright and started incorporating them into their main catalog, they originally tried to modernize Scooby-Doo by making Fred didn't wear the ascot anymore. They had slightly tweaked costumes that looked a little bit less.
I vaguely like the edges of my memory are going. Yeah,
Yeah,
that happened.
and that's really.
And you haven't seen Mystery Incorporated, the TV series, I highly suggest it. I think it's 3 seasons.
It's
but
so
it was
good.
amazing. And there's like some really, really
It's
shocking things that happen in that cartoon because
It's fun.
especially, it's just I
Well,
love
they,
it.
It's
and
a
they also
beautifully
took the piss out of
refreshing
themselves. Does that count? I don't know.
'Cause each episode was like it
it's
had its
fine.
own mystery, but there was also an overarching mystery.
It's the
Definitely.
first time ever, with the exception of maybe 13 Ghosts. Some people consider 13 Ghosts and Scooby Doo with Vincent Price to be the first ongoing storyline, but it really kind of wasn't. It was just a premise.
Yeah. It
Mystery
wasn't
Incorporated was the first serialized Scooby Doo cartoon where it was actually overarching storyline. And
What happened in
it's
one
much
episode
more
affected
adult.
the
It's
next
much more
episode.
adult. It's got a much more.
Fred and Daphne are actually dating.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
It is really, really good. I told Anna that I wanted to dress up like Daphne's sisters.
Yeah.
I love her
Oh my
sister.
god, that's so. It's like it's weird. It's all these little things that get back into my memory. Where I'm like, yeah.
We need to go and find some
Oh my
lavender.
God,
Some
I
lavender
remember
bandanas
that.
for everybody to wear.
And there was actually one episode of Mystery Incorporated that I think that is where they're getting a lot of the ideas for their the Scoot movie.
Mhm.
Because they actually have, in several episodes, they have crossovers.
With other
several
Hanna-Barbera
other Hanna-Barbera
characters.
Oh yeah.
There's actually an episode that has
Yeah, cameos
Blue Falcon
basically.
and Dynamite. There's another one that one of my favorite episodes is where all the mystery solving teams come together to have a convention. And
And you gotta pay attention because there's Easter eggs.
Oh,
Yeah.
so they had like they had like Josie and the Pussycats and all of that.
they had, I want to say it was
Jabberjaw.
Jabberjaw,
Jabberjaw was there. They had Funky
the Funky
Phantom.
Phantom,
They had Speed Buggy
Speed Bunny,
and his crew. They had, I think it was
and Captain Caveman.
Captain Caveman. And his crew.
Oh, what a missed opportunity.
But
And
not just
it
his
was
guests.
so good. And because all the kids got kidnapped, all the
Mascots.
mascots
Oh, the mascot
had to
after
team
us.
up to rescue the kids.
Oh my god.
And then another one that Bo really likes is because, I mean, you have to pay attention to it because they don't always have speaking lines, but there are cameos from the new Scooby-Doo movies. So, like, in the background is Don Knotts,
Oh, I love that.
and
in the
Mama
background,
Cass.
Yes.
and, like,
they
all
had
of them.
the National Vacation, Chevy Chase, and the station wagon went through a couple of episodes.
Oh my god.
There was also Johnny Quest was in it several times. They mentioned Johnny Quest.
And Blue Falcon.
Blue
Oh.
Falcon, Dynamite. They mentioned a lot of the Hanna-Barbera properties that just it was amazing, and I love that series so much, and I wish it could have continued.
Right. Well, and I guess that kind of build-up is why I got so excited about the Scoob movie. Like, I didn't terribly care at the beginning when they were just like, "Yeah, we're going to see an origin story," and I was like, "Cool, whatever." And then suddenly they were like, "By the way, Dick Dastardly's in it." And I'm like, "I'm
Yeah.
sorry, what?"
Dick Dastardly.
Oh, it's going to be. I'm going to be excited.
And the Scooby Natural, so if you haven't seen that one's really, really fun because they use the voice cast from Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. Even though they use the slightly older animation, well, the older animation is just the original animation style. They even use actual, I found this really, really funny. They used actual matte paintings from the original cartoon.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah, because when they auction off a lot of these archival pieces, they only auction off the cells. They rarely auction off the matte painting pieces. Because you have like one matte painting pieces with like 30 cells for a scene. So sometimes if people want to spend extra for that matte painting, but they don't usually, they just usually buy the cell. So the auction houses had these extra matte paintings that they had. And so a lot of them, it's like they're the original matte paintings from the original. No, they're not from the same episodes necessarily. They're kind of like shuffled around, so you'd have to look really close to see which ones. I couldn't tell you which ones are which from what.
Yeah.
But it actually is. It is really, really funny. It is funny.
It is dang. Oh, I'm gonna ask just because we have 5 minutes left. What do our people have to read to get the last bit, the X-Men bit?
Okay, so X-Men Legacy, that's the third. We're going to go over the X-Men Legacy and possibly X-Men versus Inhumans. X-Men Legacy is not a specific storyline, so it's a little bit harder to find. It's a plot device that was put in a lot of storylines. There's a lot of different storylines that have various parts in it. The thing about X-Men Legacy, and the reason I think that it's important, is because it led to so many really amazing moments in X-Men comics history, like the death of Colossus. Cable's existence is based on this. A lot of people don't. Yeah, like on
What?
Yeah, remember you were talking about, and you're like that would have been so much cooler if they'd explained why Cable had a cyber arm in the movie. But
Yes, it's such a missed opportunity.
yeah, his cyber
I
arm is
remember
missing
that now.
because the legacy virus ate away his flesh, and they give him the cyber arm, and he's got Jean Grey's powers, but he can't use them because he's constantly using his psychic powers to keep the virus at bay.
No?
Which one was that then?
When Apocalypse initially kidnapped Christopher Summers as a baby, he injected him with a techno-organic virus. You are correct. He uses his telekinetic powers to keep the techno-organic virus at bay, but it has nothing to do with the legacy virus. The
Then
legacy virus
Then why does the legacy virus come from Strife, his clone?
doesn't.
It does. In fact, Strife left the legacy. He left
It's
the.
like,
He left
fact
the
check
virus.
us in the comments
So
below.
my husband is X-Men. My husband is an X-Men expert, and he's still mad at me for botching up the Phoenix episode. So I'm going to let him.
Yeah, we still need to talk.
We still need to redo the Phoenix episode. No. Yeah, we got words. We got words for the Phoenix episode, but no, the legacy
60
virus.
seconds, by the way.
The legacy. Okay, you know what? Read it, check it, plug in, give us your
I would
ideas.
suggest Miss Marvel with Kamala Khan, and also How to US Moon Girl and Double Dinosaur.
Which
Yes.
are effects of the X versus I.
The legacy virus was not drawn from Strife's body. He tricked Sinister into releasing it.
Okay. So anyway,
Right?
we
We're
will-
going to quiz you next
we
week.
will. We'll quiz ourselves. We'll get it right. We got a whole week to fix it now because I messed it up. So thank you for
Yay.
joining. Please like and subscribe and help us get some views next week. And peace out.
Bye, y'all.